Okay guys, so real quick video on how to find out how far back do you need to pull pavers when you've got an area that's holding water or is falling towards the house. So at this job, there's water that sits in this area, and we need to know how far back to pull in order to create that. There's absolutely no way water is going to fall that way. So what we do is we'll take our trusty zip level and we'll start at the point where we want the pavers at the highest. We zero out here. Okay, so we'll come out maybe every foot or two and just check. And likely, since there's a bowl in this area right here, this number is going to go low in this area and then it'll start to come up as we get out of the bowl. So right here, we're about the same as the house there. Let's keep going down. So right there, we're a 1/4 inch low. So we know that we're low in that area. That's a couple feet out, and we're just gonna keep moving out. Still low there. Keep going. So right now, we're at the same height this far out as we are from the house. So this is where it gets confusing. This is not the point to where you pull up at. All that's saying is that from this point to there are the same height. What you got to do is you got to keep going almost to the whole edge of the patio. If you're concerned that, if you know for a fact it stops, that there's no water holding in this area and everywhere from here falls down, then you can stop around that point. But if it's a small patio like this, you might as well just measure the whole thing. So we got our 0 point. Let me find that again. So this is the, and let me go back a little bit. So we're at 0 here. Wait, let me get it. Sorry. We're at 0 here. So that means we're at the same height as the wall there. But we're going to keep going. Go another foot. We'll see. Make sure you're straight up and down with your zip. And see, here we're at a 1/2. So that means we're a 1/2 inch higher than we were just right there. So if we had stopped here and took all this out and had it slip down, then you're just creating a bowl in this area now where water's going to sit. So you're going to make a mental note, or write it down. Actually, I brought my pencil and paper, so let me actually do that real quick. I'm going to take a note that at this point, or if you even got a pencil, this has already been cleaned and sealed, so I don't want to write on this, but if you got a carpenter pencil, I would actually mark on the point on the pavers where you're at. But right here, I'm going to write 1/2. And then 1 foot over, I was at 0. And then we're going to keep going. So right here, we were at 1/2. Now we're going to go into here. Let's see what this is. Now we're at 1/4 or 3/8. So now we know it's starting to fall again. So this was 0. This was 1/2. This is going back down to 3/8 or 1/4. So this is your high point here. That shows you, and let's just do another one just to double check and make sure it's still going down. Yep, now we're at 1/8. We were at 1/4, so this one will probably be back to 0 here. Yep, and as we're going, I'm just measuring the rest just to kind of show you how it works. Now it's still going down. Every number after has been lower than that 1/2 inch point. So if we come back up here, that means that this, and this is our, let me get back on the 1/2 inch point. This is our 1/2 inch. This means that this point right here is our highest point on the patio, coming this way. So this is where you would want to pull the pavers up. Now what you can do, I'm going to show you what to do after this to figure out how high to raise these pavers on this side. But what you'd want to do is do the same thing all the way down. You want to do it here, go a couple feet over, start there and come this way, start there and come this way, and you're going to find your pivot point all along this side. And once you know how far back you're going to pull the pavers, I usually throw some wood stakes down or something, or you can use your pencil and draw a line. Then you know your fall or your pivot point. I call it a pivot point. It's actually your highest point that is correct. And so then to figure out how much fall we need, how high these pavers need to be raised, we take our tape measure and we measure the point from that where we first zeroed out at, and we come to this point where we measured that 1/2 inch highest point, and we are at 9 feet. So we want our fall on our patio to be 1/4 inch of fall per foot. So we have 9 feet. We times that by 1/4. That gives us 2 1/4 inches of fall. So we know that that point 9 feet away from this pivot point here, we know that that over there along the house, it needs to read 2.25 inches on this zip level. And then if we remember, we started here at the very beginning, it was at 0. So 0 plus 2 1/4 inches. I don't know if I can get it back. Make sure it's still on 0 over here. It might be in a different point from where I started. 0 now. Yeah, I was right here. Okay, so we know this is 0. So that means we know we want this 2.25 inches higher than 0. So that means all around here we're raising it 2.25 inches. Now, as you start measuring along this step, you're getting a little closer to where your pivot point is. So the height along this step is going to start going down. And I measured earlier, this is about 4 feet from here to here where that pivot point is. So that means 4 feet times 1/4 inch of fall per foot. That your point here would be at 1 inch, and it'd come up to 2.25 inches along this wall here and all the way down. I hope that helps explain everything.